The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. When you look at some people living in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, they are the best to be in the front line. Because if you are living under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, General Assimi Goïta, General Abdourahmane Chiani, and you can still do certain things, then you are the best people to be in the front line. According to the Defense Minister of Burkina Faso, Mamadou Sana, they have dismissed 2 police officers for embezzlement of over 40 million CFA franc. How can you be a policeman who is supposed to be the law enforcer in Burkina Faso under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, and you think you can just do some things and go scot-free without being caught? This is not a democratic country. And if you are somebody living in Burkina Faso and you still have the heart to be doing these things, then you are somebody, your courage is at a different level. And these are the people we need to be in the front line because they have the courage to do whatever. I am shocked when I heard the news that people in Burkina Faso can still go to this length to do this in Burkina Faso under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Even people who planned outside of Burkina Faso were caught. How much more you, the one living in Burkina Faso, still in office, and you wouldn't be caught? Like, people have heart. People have heart. And this heart needs to be in the front line. At least to face this yellow popo that is doing everything possible to make sure that we come back into oppression. A lot of things are happening in Africa. The people we expect to be the law-abiding people, the ones who are enforcing the law, are the ones who are doing something else.
In its session on June 18, 2026, the Council of Ministers adopted a report concerning a proposal to dismiss 2 police officers for acts described as embezzlement of public funds of a total amount estimated at 45,216,000 intended for covering the operations of the Mobile Intervention Unit of the National Police based in Kuni in the Bankoui region. First of all, I want to pay a well-deserved tribute to all the defense and security forces, to all the civilian populations, to all the VDP who fight day and night so that Burkina Faso remains standing. Apatimpa ama ana. Returning to the subject of the dismissal, investigations conducted by the competent services have confirmed the commission of these financial misappropriation that were attributed to these 2 agents. In accordance with the provisions of Law 027-2018 concerning the status of the National Police Framework and Decree number 2019-0406 concerning the general disciplinary regulations of the National Police. Regarding the disciplinary sanction in the case of a third-degree offense, particularly those deemed extremely serious, the Council of Ministers approves the dismissal of Police Lieutenant Tiao B. Nicholas, registration number 9656, head of the Administrative and Financial Service of the Regional Directorate of the National Police of Bankoui, and of Police Chief Sergeant Ilbudo Pawentore Marcelin, registration number 300-947H, responsible for logistics within the said administrative and financial service for embezzlement of public funds. Sam Sai Saibu, the Sam Moninges. It should also be noted that the dismissal of these 2 agents is without prejudice to legal proceedings, with the seizure of assets up to the value of the embezzled goods. This is an opportunity to remind all those in the financial chain, the administrative and financial services, the logistics managers, etc., that such behaviors cannot be tolerated and that anyone found guilty of similar offenses, particularly regarding the funds intended for the payment of operational bonuses and the sustenance of the men deployed in the field who fight day and night to keep Burkina Faso standing, will face the same sanctions. In any case, the Council has instructed that from now on, the compensation for expenses intended for operations will be handled through the Military and Paramilitary Savings and Credit Cooperative (COMIPEC) to mitigate the risks of embezzlement. Also, I want to reassure that checks are ongoing in all financial channels.
When Captain Ibrahim Traoré came into office, he realized that your salaries were not good. He has to increase the salaries so that it will motivate you to do your best. Leaving the military. Look at the amount of money Captain Ibrahim Traoré is still taking as his salary. Make sure that the politicians, everything is cut down so that you will be happy, motivated to pour out your all to work for your country. Why we are not moving forward as Africans is because we think about ourselves. We think about today. We don't think about the generations that will come. If the leader who is leading you isn't thinking about taking the resources in the country, who has the total control over everything, why should you, the one at the grassroots, be thinking of yourself? That has been the problem of Africa. That has been the problem of Africa. People are going around the police, arresting people for corruption, for embezzlement. Yet you, the same people who are supposed to enforce this law and make sure things are done right, are the ones allegedly involved in this. Why not think about what we can use this money to do to move the nation ahead? Other people are contributing outside of Burkina Faso. Look at the diasporas who are living outside. Over 100 billion to support develop Burkina Faso. And when that money gets into Burkina Faso, you that is not contributing nothing, we are there to serve the country, and they are paying you out of that. You will sit there and take that money and packet it just to make sure life is better for you. Why? For how long will we be doing this to ourselves as Africans? Sometimes we need to pause and ask ourselves, we the people who are fighting for freedom, do we truly want freedom? Do we know what freedom is all about? We see China and we are happy. Did China become China just overnight? Is it that we don't know the stories, the histories of countries that we are dying to go to? That they didn't just wake up one day and they become what they are today? They sacrificed. And who sacrificed? Was it only the leaders or even the people sacrificed? We cannot get the Africa we are looking for if we, the people ourselves, are not ready. We are pointing fingers at the leaders, at the politicians, yet we, the individuals, are not also ready to change our attitude towards the development of our own countries. And for how long will you, a citizen in a country, be thinking about taking what belongs to the state to yourself? Why not also be an example to contribute to the development of the nation? If politicians were running Burkina Faso and they were taking the resources and we are not happy, now we have a leader who is sacrificing everything. Look at the roads, look at the factories. These are the things Yolo Popo do not want you, the African, to have. They are the ones who are making sure that you don't have factories. You don't have your industries, because they said when you build them, they will no longer get your resources at a cheap price. And you, the one that they are fighting to make sure your children, your generations to come, will have a better life. Will be like Singapore, will be like North Korea, will be like China, Russia, whereby they can do things on their own without dying on the Mediterranean Sea for greener pastures. You are the one who also help in taking the resources just to make sure the nation doesn't move forward. If everybody continue to be taking this amount of money, over 40 million out of the state's coffers, how do we then see the better Burkina Faso we are looking for? Building a nation, we all have a responsibility. It's not only the politicians, it's not only the leaders, it is everybody. So as citizens in Africa, we need to change our mentality towards our states and towards the continent. Let's not think that it is the responsibility of only the leaders. So the leaders must do ABC. So finally, when the leaders release the money and it gets to you, the citizen, what do you also do? Do you use it for the right purpose? We need to change our attitude, all of us. We have a problem, not only the leaders. So let's stop pointing fingers at our leaders and also point a finger at ourselves, because we are also a reason to which Africa isn't moving. And we can't get the better Africa if the leaders change and you, the citizens, refuse to change. Because when they change and they give you the money, what will you do with it? Will you not see the need to use the money to do a better thing for your nation, or you see it as an opportunity to use it to benefit yourself? The time has come for all of us in Africa to see that we have a responsibility towards the continent. And it is you and I that can change Africa. The citizens, the leaders are doing everything possible to give you a better Burkina Faso. Because Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, if our generation we are not able to do something, our children, our grandchildren will ask us. So why don't you, the people, also contribute? You are thinking about your immediate family. What about the larger population? Do you know the amount of money you are taking and what other things this money can be used to do in Burkina Faso so that generations to come will benefit? If the leaders are not like the politicians, taking the resources, so why then will you not sit down and be the one who will take the resources out to benefit yourself? But Captain Ibrahim Traoré, under his watch, you cannot do anything of this sort and go scot-free. So the people in Burkina Faso, the citizens, must change their mentality. Understand that what they are doing is not for themselves, but for the entire population. So let's start seeing that what they are doing is not for them, but for our generations to come. So we will then support them in full force in order to change the country. And this thing is happening everywhere in Africa. So we have to get leaders who go after the same people that are supposed to enforce the law and they are breaking the law. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.